Hey everyone, welcome to another Lost Ark video. This video will go over some basics of the game, a leveling skill build, as well as a few tips for the Gunslinger class. Gunslinger is a class where you cycle through 3 weapons, and the primary source of the class's damage comes from her sniper rifle and her shotgun. The primary use of her pistols are for movement, applying a self buff, a party debuff, as well as using some pistol skills as a filler. Gunslinger is definitely a glass cannon class and shares the lowest defense coefficient, making it susceptible to quick deaths, but it makes up for it with incredibly high damage contribution and flashy looking skills. Hopefully, by the end of the video, you'll have the information you need to help you on your way through the leveling process into the vast endgame of Lost Ark. Skill points are an essential part of your leveling progression up to and past level 50. And you acquire 5 skill points per level. Every skill can be modified when the skill level reaches levels 4, 7, and 10. These modifications are called tripods. Tripods change the properties of the skills and can make them deal more damage, apply debuffs, and or completely change how a skill functions. The power of the skills at these level thresholds also increases the higher it goes. Getting a skill to level 10 can exponentially increase your damage and will make your overall leveling experience a lot smoother when you choose the right ones. Skill points can be reallocated at no cost at any point as long as the skills are not on cooldown and you are not in combat. However, you are able to swap presets mid-fight. By the time you hit level 50, you should have 241 skill points to use, which equates to 5 skills at level 10. In my opinion, the best option is to go with 2 separate skill pages, one specifically for mobbing, which you'll use for the majority of the game, and one specifically for bossing. The skill build we will be talking about in the video will mostly be covering skills you use for mobbing and what they do, which will also be ending build by the time you hit level 50 and is used for your start into endgame mobbing content like Chaos Dungeons. Your best friend skill when it comes to leveling is definitely the pistol skill Equilibrium. You unlock this skill at level 12, and at level 7, turn it into an AoE skill that hits 360 degrees. The better majority of your early leveling will be using this skill as your main source of AoE. Here are the tripods I opted to go for. At level 4, I took High Speed Shot to increase the attack speed of the skill. At level 7 is where you turn the skill full AoE with the Enemy Raid Tripod, also increasing the damage it deals to rare and lower mob types by 100%, which is a huge damage multiplier. While leveling, you can actually opt to leave the skill at level 7 and you'll be perfectly fine. But if you do decide on a level 10 tripod, then go with the Vital Shot tripod to increase the crit chance of the skill. Unfortunately, the other main AoE skill this class shines with you only unlock at level 40, and it's the shotgun skill Sharpshooter. Both this skill and Equilibrium alone will clear entire packs by themselves. It's just unfortunate you unlock it fairly late into the leveling. It will still, however, contribute to your future mobbing endeavors. These are the tripods to take during your leveling. At level 4, you take Range Shot for increased skill range. At level 7, it gets Omnidirectional Fire. This is its version of the 360 degree AoE similar to Equilibrium. However, due to the high multiplier shotgun skills get, it does not have its own damage multiplier attached to the tripod. And then at level 10, I recommend taking Frost Haven for its tripod, as it applies a form of CC called Freeze, as well as gives it 100% damage multiplier, really good to keep mobs at bay as well as increasing its overall damage output. Because Gunslinger has so many skills, 16 of them not including the 2 to swap weapons, I'll only be going over the important skills that I think you should always have, as well as the tripods associated to them within the 241 skill points you end up with by level 50. Here are the pistol skills that I recommend using. The last 3 skills can be filled with whatever you want. Personally, I recommend using the AT-02 Grenade, Deathfire, and Meteor Storm with Bullet Rain for some extra damage and as fill-in skills. For shotgun stance, you'll be using the same 4 skills until you hit level 40. If you're going to invest into shotgun skills, which I recommend, I would invest skill points into Dual Buckshot and Shotgun Rapid Fire. These 2 skills will help you through boss fights and add an additional AoE to clear mobs within the overworld. Last Resort is a heavy hitting single target skill with a small AoE. You will be replacing Hour of Judgment as soon as you unlock Sharpshooter. Here's what I would use if I were to prioritize shotgun skills. If you would rather play more from a range, here's what I would recommend for sniper stance skills. The last skill can be interchanged based on what you want. I personally use Catastrophe. And here's a quick rundown of the skills you'll be using by the time you are level 50 for both AoE and single target encounters. If you would like a level by level rundown of the skills, please refer to the VOD upload of my leveling during the beta, or look at this leveling guide done by content creator Darksma, the link in the description below. There is a little more emphasis on sniper skills over shotgun skills in this build, but it's just as good and another way to play early on. I think the best way to understand and learn what skills do is to try them out and use what feels comfortable or strong to you. It's worth noting that you can mostly use anything to level with, so experiment with level skills and what tripods do and see what works and doesn't. The post level 50 Gunslinger builds at all skill point levels prioritize mainly shotgun and sniper skills. Because Gunslingers aren't reliant on head or back attack, they have the ability to freely position themselves where they can do the most damage. As a result, being able to weave in pistol stands for movement as well as debuffing the boss to lower its crit resistance in between major damage windows with sniper and shotgun skills is how you optimally rotate your skills. Understanding skill cooldowns, opportunities to commit damage, and weaving movement and debuffing will be what separates the good gunslingers from the best. Like every other class, engravings are not going to be overly easy to obtain early. There are a few sources of obtaining engraving books, which will be covered in a future video. Only one of the two engravings for Gunslingers is absolutely mandatory at any point of the game for the build to function, but having no class engraving for the start isn't a major crush to the class, as the class itself is very strong even without it, and only really benefits from having them. Gunslingers, like every other class, have two class engravings that change the way a class plays. In other servers, the Peacemaker engraving is the most commonly used one and incorporates different buffs depending on the weapon stance you are currently in. The Time to Hunt engraving acts similarly to the Deadeye class engraving Pistolier in that it locks out your weapons, or in this case, one weapon. The shotgun weapon stands entirely in favor of pistol and sniper weapons, and in turn gives the benefit of having much higher crit rate. You can decide what engraving you want to use based on your own playstyle. Here's an example build of an endgame Gunslinger's engravings. The Grudge, Master of Strikes, Adrenaline, Keen Blunt Weapon, Curse Doll, and Peacemaker. Here's an example build of what you can possibly do early at launch. While leveling, stat prioritization is not a thing. You can equip anything that shows is better and increase your eye level, and you use that and replace it as you go. When you hit level 50, the game really opens up with what stats are available, and everything you need to prioritize comes from your accessories. If you are playing a Peacemaker Gunslinger, you are prioritizing crit as your primary stat and a split between swiftness and specialization with the higher priority on swiftness. If you are playing a Time to Hunt Gunslinger, you are prioritizing swiftness as your primary stat with crit and specialization as a secondary, with specialization as a priority on the secondary stat. Gunslinger has two different counter abilities, one in pistol stance and the other in shotgun stance. Counters occur at the front of the boss during a counterable attack when they flash and glow blue. The two counter skills are Peacekeeper and Last Resort. Peacekeeper is quicker, and with the extended range tripod can help you counter from further back. Countering is more on the advanced side mechanically, but is something great to learn as it's essential to know how to in future content. Gunslingers are very well known for being one of the most complex classes due to the nature of having more than twice the amount of skills in other classes, as well as having really high APM. It is amongst the squishiest classes you can play, but also one of the most rewarding if you are capable of playing it well. There's a reason it performs so well in high-end content, and will continue to do so for a long time. If you liked the video, please click that like button, subscribe for more Lost Ark content in the future. Stay safe, and thanks for watching.